I see folks trickling in here, guys. I'm John, and we're going to obviously give it a few minutes. Let the folks who are joining us at 1 drop in. We will start promptly at 1 o'clock. Thanks for joining us, and we'll get into it here in a moment. All right, everybody. It is 1 o'clock, and we're going to get to it. I am John Colbaugh. We're here to talk today a little bit about Medicare Supplement at large and a little bit about the ACE Medicare Supplement. And I'm excited because if you're here, there's a good chance that you don't have this particular carrier in your portfolio, in your toolkit, as I like to kind of frame things. And so if you don't, then that means that there's a lot of fruit on this vines for you guys. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit for a lot of you. And what I mean is that you're looking at a very, very sellable, very, very competitive product in the Medicare supplement space. And before we do that, and I see a few names here that I actually recognize. So I know one or two of you have joined on a webinar or two that I've hosted. And so welcome back. And to those of you who are newer, welcome. And we're going to start by addressing a little bit about Medicare and the Medicare supplement kind of space market at large, because for those of you who are not savvy or up to date on Medicare supplement, I think it's worth pointing out a few things before we get into the details on ACE. Now, we're going to respect your time, I think, with some time left over today. We're not going to drag anything out longer than it needs to be, but I want to stay with you long enough to give you something that is valuable, something that is just what you need to either remind yourself about the size and the opportunity, or the size of the opportunity of Medicare and Medicare supplement in the Medicare market, and then also give you a little bit of a profile on who buys these things in the first place, and further equip you, especially as we're gearing up for the busiest season in the Medicare world, AEP, and make sure that we're all on the same page and of the same mind when it comes to selling Medicare supplement, being Medicare complete agents, and having a complete toolkit. That said, let's have a quick look at this bit of data from Telos. And I want to point out, listen, we're in 2023, all right? So just a little bit past the beginning of where this study picked up. So in 2023, let's look at the size of the Medicare market. How many Medicare beneficiaries there are at present? We're looking at just over 65, maybe something like 67,000. All right, according to this chart, 67 million, excuse me, 67 million. That's a much bigger market, isn't it? Medicare enrollees, beneficiaries in 2023. Now, that is not exactly a small market. This is a very big market, and a burgeoning market for that. If we cast forward into the next just 3 years and we look at 2026, we're looking at around 72 million Medicare beneficiaries. Now, we cast out 5 years, and most of us will still be in this industry 5 years from now, I'm sure. And so we're looking at closer to 75 million. All right, so there is a huge, and more importantly, growing market in the Medicare space itself. All right, so the next question is, how much of that space does Medicare supplement take up? Now, for a lot of us, again, those of you who do not actively sell Medicare supplement at the moment, I think there's a little bit of a misnomer, a misunderstanding about the gulf between Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplement. Granted, Medicare Advantage has a bigger piece of the pie, right? We're not going to sugarcoat that, and don't need to, because a lot of people need Medicare Advantage, right? A lot of people need that line of product, okay? That is the right fit for plenty of folks, but the gulf between market shares of Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement is likely not as big as you think. We see that 32% of Medicare enrollees will likely adopt Medicare Supplement. Now, yes, 49% will likely adopt Medicare Advantage, but that's not double on the whole. I think there'd be a lot of us imagine it being this triple the market share of Medicare Supplement, when in fact it's not even double. Right, in this, by this information, at least from Telos. And so what that means to me is, of that, currently 67 million, all right, we see a huge piece of that pie that is going to look for and adopt a Medicare supplement plan. And so what that means for us is that we want to make sure we have one or two or more strong Medicare supplement carriers in our portfolio, or in our toolkit, as I like to say. Listen, the fact is, sometimes Medicare Advantage is the right tool for the job, but sometimes, as we see here, Medicare Supplement is the right tool for the job, and you can't do the job right if you don't even have the tool in your toolkit. If you don't have a good, strong Medicare supplement, a competitive, a profitable Medicare supplement for you in your toolkit, you're not going to be able to give that that opportunity and that experience to your clients, to your market. And so I want to encourage you today to, one, consider the value of Medicare supplement in general. And obviously, we're going to talk about ACE being one of the most obvious choices for everybody on this call. I venture to say that everybody on this call should have ACE in their toolkit. I know that's a little bit bold, because look, these aren't one size fits all, but ACE is so competitive, and we're going to talk about why in a moment. ACE is so competitive that I would bet Everybody on this call should at least have it as one of the primary tools in their Medicare supplement toolkit. All right. And most of us, I think, are savvy enough to think of ourselves as Medicare agents, not just Medicare supplement agents, not just Medicare Advantage agents, not just life agents, et cetera. We want to make sure we're well-rounded, well-prepared Medicare agents so that we can make sure that we give our clients the right opportunity, the right experience, because we know in this industry, it's symbiotic. The better they do, the more their friends they tell, the more their friends come to you, the better they do, the more their friends they tell, et cetera. I know you know this. I'm learning this from folks like you. It's fantastic that this industry is so symbiotic, that it's set up so that the more you thrive, the more I thrive, and so it goes. And that said, the better experience you give them, the more options you give them tailored to their needs as you do a needs analysis. Make sure you put out their Medicare Advantage options, you put out their Medicare Supplements options, and help them educate them on what is the right fit for them. The more you do that, obviously, the better your business and the better you take care of your market. And you can't do that if you don't have a complete toolkit. Now, let's talk about who buys these and why. Now, we don't have to go all through this whole list. I'm not going to exhaust it today. You can screenshot it. I'm happy to share this with any of you who request it. But the first 3 points on the left-hand side are really, really valuable to look at. Maybe the first 4. Why do people buy these? By polling data, they're going to buy them because they want to see any doctor or hospital they choose. Listen, I tell people all the time, I don't want to raise my hand. I'm 39. I don't want to have to raise my hand for anything. By the time I get to 65, you can bet I'm not wanting to raise my hand to see any doctor that I choose. I want to see the doctors I choose when I want to see them, right now. And by the time I'm 65, you bet I've earned that right? So a lot of folks want to see their doctors. They don't want to have restrictions on that. They want to see any doctor that takes Medicare and see a doctor that takes that they choose because their Medicare supplements are going to allow it. They want their medical bills paid for. Now, what does that mean with Medicare supplement? If you're not already familiar, we always say a plan G is a plan G is a plan G. And the nuts and bolts of it is just that, right? That these are regulated, government standardized plans. But when you say that their medical bills are paid for, why are we able to say that? We're able to say that because Medicare, on a given cost, on a given expense, if it is a medically necessary procedure and Medicare approves of it, right? You can think knee replacement, right? Something that you need done. And Medicare says, yep, go ahead. Then they're going to pay 80% of that bill, leaving you with a 20% responsibility. Now, 20% of a big bill for you is still a big bill. And so you want something to cover that gap. With Medicare supplement, you stay on Medicare, but then you have something to cover the gap, hence the Medigap concept, right? The other name for Medicare supplement is Medigap. And so that gap, that 20% is covered in different ways by different types of plans. Medicare supplement is organized into plans where Medicare is organized into parts. And therefore, Medicare supplement is going to, let's say a good plan G. With a good plan G, Medicare supplement, you pay your premium, you pay your deductible, and they're going to cover the rest of any Medicare approved expense. Therefore, within a very small margin of error, you can calculate what your medical costs are going to be for the duration of your time covered by that plan. So you know that your medical bills, as long as they are medically necessary, approved by Medicare, they're going to be paid as long as you pay your premium, you pay your very small deductible in most cases. And so you're covered to the hilt, about as good as it gets for a civilian. All right, unrestricted access to specialists. Again, we come back to the hand raising concept. I want to see whichever doctors I want to see when I want to see them. And besides that, we see a lot of other factors. Again, I recommend you take a screenshot of this or request this in post. I'm happy to supply it. But there are lots of reasons folks choose these. And you will find that 9 out of 10 people on their Medicare supplements are very happy with them, especially if they've had to use them, because they don't see much in the way of bills at all. It simplifies their projections, their estimates of their medical expenses, and reduces them in a lot of cases. In a lot of cases, this is going to be the most affordable option for people, even though they do have to pay a monthly premium. Right. That said, a little bit more on the demographics of these folks. Now, particularly, I like to look at the income because I think a lot of us have a misunderstanding again, and we think that there's a humongous gulf in the Medicare supplement versus Medicare Advantage social economic kind of discrepancy. And really, what we see is that, roughly 50% of folks with Medicare supplement, you look at this this first highlighted bit where it says 50%. See, roughly 50% of Medicare supplement enrollees do have a household income over 75K. Now, fair enough. These are the folks on, let's say, I think it's Plan G. A little bit of my screen is hidden from me, interestingly enough, but I believe that's Plan G. That means that there's another 50% that are below that 75K. And I think we'll see something closer to 35 or 40% that are in the 50K range. All right. So we're not talking about household incomes that are really super high all of the time. We have a decent mix of folks who are maybe comfortable, but in the moderate to lower range of income. And then we have a lot of folks who are, in the moderate to higher range of income. And so don't assume that because somebody's a little, not absolutely, they're not in the six-figure range. Don't assume they have to be in the six-figure range to be eligible or interested in Medicare supplement. Do a needs analysis. Find out about their medical situation, find out about their financial situation, help them make the best choice for them. And in some cases, that's going to be Medicare supplement. That said, guys, we are looking at these folks being, 40%, 48%, with a 4-year degree. Right, so reasonably educated, but again, not a huge split. Lots of folks on Medicare supplement don't. Lots of them are married, but not all of them. And so, guys, once again, I think the best move for Medicare agents and folks considering selling Medicare supplement is to contract with 1, 2, 3, or more strong Medicare supplement carriers, positioned intelligently, and make sure that you offer these opportunities to your clients after you do some sort of needs analysis. Ask them more details about their situation, help them choose the best option for them. That said, guys, we come to the topic of the day, all right? ACE Medicare Supplement. Now, as ACE has been absolutely gangbusters, has sold like wildfire, yet it is still relatively understaffed with brokers. What I mean is not every broker out there in your market has ACE. It's been selling well because it's so sellable, but not everybody has access to it or has caught on. So there's still an opportunity here in your market to get ahead of the curve in some sense with ACE. And what I recommend is that you have a look at this and listen, actually what I recommend, to be honest with you, is that you call your marketing group as soon as we're done here and you get a contract with ACE. If you are new to Medicare supplement, let me point out this. It is a low barrier to entry product. There's no AHIP. There are very few hoops to jump through. You call, you contract, you make sure they know where to send your commission checks, right? You do the due diligence there, and then you have this thing sitting in your portfolio, in your toolkit, ready to go, ready to present. And this way you don't end up selling against a product that you could have had handy with ease, right? There's no reason not to. My recommendation is going to be that you contract today on this. And now I'm going to tell you why. Okay. If you've been in the, what would you say? In the PNC space, there it is, there's a word. In the PNC space, there's a good chance that you're very familiar with the name that is behind ACE, which is a company called Chubb Insurance. Chubb is the world's largest publicly traded property and casualty insurance company with more than 200 billion in assets reported and 46.8 billion in gross premiums since 2021. Right? That's a lot of billions. That's a lot of billions, guys. 93% of Fortune 1000 companies trust Chubb with at least one of their products. All right, that is a huge vote of confidence. Never mind the fact that their AM Best rating is through the roof. Excuse me. All right. So the vote of confidence in their stability and their reliability could not be stronger. I have not seen a stronger profile in that sense. And so I, once again, want to recommend them on that front. Chubb, the parent company for ACE, backing this company, is absolutely, all right, absolutely well reputed in the industry. The product itself, this Medicare supplement, and a lot of the reasons it's sold so well is, listen, they have the lowest base rates in most states. They are going to be incredibly competitive. And the points we mentioned before mean that they have a remarkable ability to pay claims, to pay commissions. They also have a remarkable ability to sustain what's been one of the richest and most generous agent incentives in the industry. We're going to come back to that towards the end. Now, they have a 7% household discount. And let me point this out. Two things about this. Yes, it's not the highest household discount we've seen, but with one policy qualification, that is still a generous discount. And their rates are so solid that even without their discount, forget the 7% discount, they're going to be more affordable than lots of carriers will be with their richer discounts, their 10%, 12% discounts. You're going to find that ACE is really, 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 really competitive. Right, administered by an integrity partner at IAS, which means we have a little bit more insight into the ongoings there. And every once in a while, we're able to fast track some processes for you. Plans A, F, G, high deductible G and N. Now, I want to speak once more to the newer Med Supp agents, maybe to even the Medicare Advantage agents who are dabbling in or who just haven't, dove into Medicare Supplement. Maybe you've waded in, but you're not, underwater with it yet, so to speak. To those folks, especially, I would point out that high deductible G and separately Plan N, these plans offer you an opportunity to get a lower premium with still exceptional coverage for your clients, right? What I mean is if you're used to clients or your clients are used to zero premium, zero cost, so to speak, plans, but they're maybe want the peace of mind associated with, a little more thorough coverage than they're used to, then high deductible G and then the plan ends might get you there and bridge that gap a little bit more. Reach out to your marketers to talk more about why that is. And if I can help in any way, I'm obviously on standby. Guys, we still have the e-app with the QSIG, the mother's maiden name. Now, one thing I love about this, the first carrier I ever sold came on with, had this, and I got spoiled, I guess. That's what happened. Listen, that mother's maiden name made things so easy. Now, I know that, folks of all ages are becoming more and more tech savvy. But listen, I'm reasonably tech savvy. I still have trouble with these DocuSigns, right? I feel like a fumbling kind of buffoon sometimes with these things myself. And so that mother's maiden name signature option where you offer you ask for the mother's maiden name, the client's mother's maiden name. You submit that in the signature option. If underwriting has to contact your client, they confirm that maiden name. The loop on the signature is closed and away we go. Guys, ease of use there could not be better. Footprint, guys. Now we are looking at a couple of states coming up soon that have been, my goodness, I'm losing my words. States that have been filed but are pending approval. And so we're excited about that, but they still got a thorough footprint even without that. Now we are live in Montana at this point, at least there. So, and then California, heads up. We're filed there. No date for you yet, but guys, listen, when that drops in California, this is going to be a huge opportunity for a lot of you, huge opportunity. So keep your ear open, and we will make sure you have that information as soon as it is available. Also, obviously, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Florida, you're live now. You're ready to go, ready to sell. Want to highly recommend, once again, that you jump on that because it hasn't been live very long in those states, which once again means even fewer agents are going to have it for the time being, which gives you an edge, a carrier, a highly competitive carrier in your toolkit. And then speaking of competitiveness, let me enunciate there. We look in Pennsylvania. ACE is top against the tier ones. Okay. Now this is crazy competitive in Pennsylvania, even against, the larger market, but against the tier ones, the big names, you are, just miles ahead on competitiveness with those. Aflac, even. We love Aflac. All right. And they're very competitive, but Cigna, Humana, right? That's not our product. The Humana Achieve product we love so much, but the Humana products are obviously strong. AARP, lots of folks love their AARP, guys. Listen, for $20 difference, all right, a $20 difference per month, ACE is going to get you where you need to be for a lot of folks in Pennsylvania. In Alabama, which we, strong state for Medicare Supplement, strong state for ACE, 99.51, guys. This is incredible on a Plan G, okay? Nevada, Plan G, we're looking again, 106.95, guys. This is still incredibly competitive rates in these lowest rated areas. Granted, still, this is lots of wiggle room for ACE in these states, and they're going to be top of the class, so to speak, against the tier ones, and just it's going to be hard to beat. It's going to be really hard to beat. And once again, I think you don't want to be in a position where you're selling against it. You'd rather be selling it yourself, or at least have the option. So again, reach out to your marketing group when we're done today. Contract, why not? There's very few things standing between you and getting that contract. Underwriting highlights, we got basics, guys. 2-year look back on all the basics. All right, I love this. This is a nice middle of the line, encouraging for healthy business, but not so tight that you can't get anybody through. They will look at diabetics who have, maintained their situation reasonably well with 50 units of CC, or 50 cc's rather, or units of insulin daily. Now let's talk about their, just briefly about their portal. All I can tell you about this at the moment is that it's clean. I can also tell you that their adoption rate has been very, very high on their e-apps. All right. So lots of folks jumping in on this one, lots of folks having a very good experience, lots of vote of confidence from agents on that front. Now, the biggest piece of agent experience I want to leave you with, guys, is one of the richest incentives in the Medicare supplement space. All right. You do have to hit 5 apps. Let's be clear about this, guys. You have to hit 5 apps to qualify for this bonus. And they've kept this bonus running longer than almost anybody I've seen with such a rich bonus. But you do have to hit 5 apps, but that's 5 apps total, one time, to start qualifying for the bonuses, not 5 apps per month. We say that often enough. I've seen 10 apps per month. Okay. We're seeing 5 apps per month. That qualifies you for the bonus. And after that, you get 250 for each of the underwritten and 25 for the open enrollment cases. All right, they're not incentivizing GI, granted, but this means that they're, once again, protecting that book of business and encouraging healthy business. And so, listen, remember or consider here that those 5 are retroactive. Once you hit 5, you get bonused on all of those 5, not just the 6th one and on. All right, so a $250 bonus is one of the richest bonuses in the space. Listen, for those of you who are used to Medicare Advantage level compensation, we're going to get you a lot closer to there. In some cases, neck and neck, or even just past Medicare Advantage comp. When you look at the average $350 commission on Medicare supplements, and then you tack on a $250 bonus for those underwritten cases, we can get you a lot closer to that sort of profitability. Guys, the ACE Medicare Supplement has been a strong choice for lots of agents in the integrity world, okay, in the Medicare Supplement market in the last 9 or 10 months, but there's still a huge opportunity here for you. There's still a lot of fruit on that vine, and it is as competitive as it gets. It is as strong as it gets in the Medicare supplement space. All I can tell you is we're going to wrap it up here. And I know, let's see, we're giving you plenty of extra time to call your marketer and get that contract before you wrap things up for the day. All right. Before you head to lunch, I bet. All right. In a lot of your cases, guys, get that contract squared away before you head to lunch. There's no reason not to have one of the strongest carriers, one of the strongest opportunities in the Med Supp space in your toolkit, in your portfolio today. If we can do anything to help make it easier, if we can provide any of this deck, any things like that, let your marketers know. They'll reach out to us. We'll make it happen. Guys, join us next week. I'll see you. You should see a link come from your marketing team on some webinars we'll have next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Working harder to make sure you guys have everything you need to get out there and serve your market to absolutely crush it in the Medicare supplement space. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and have a fantastic day. We'll see you next week.